Hello, and we are live. Today I have with me Michael Falato, and we are so excited to talk about lead generation and how you can just skyrocket your business. Now, the thing that I always like to talk about when it comes to lead generation is that, in my opinion, lead generation is not the first thing that you start with. It's prospecting the existing folks that you have in your database and your network. Michael, I really want to get your feedback on this. Lead generation is like putting fuel in the fire. Once you've got the system, once it's worked with your initial sphere of influence, then you go and crank it up full throttle and bring those leads in. So, Michael, if you could start with a quick intro, and then let's get into this.
Sure. I'm Michael Falato. I am based in Orlando area and also Palmetto, which is by St. Pete's. From Chicago originally, and have a lead gen company that's really a lead gen automation approach. Doing email, LinkedIn, and thought leadership masterminds and roundtable to drive top of funnel so people can get 10 to 20 different meetings per month. Instead of spending more time hunting, they're spending more time selling consulting by taking the empirical data out of it every single day of them doing it themselves manually and doing it with some sort of automated approach. It's repeatable and scalable.
Repeatable and scalable. Those are my two favorite words, and when I use them together, it's like magic. I love that. Thank you for saying that. So explain the problem, the biggest problem that you think that you're solving for your clients.
They're hiring SDRs mostly, and it's usually kids out of school or overseas, and they're not experienced. And it's very time consuming to teach, strategize, and they don't have 25 years of experience like I do, or 53 years on this earth. So I do a repeatable, scalable approach, sending out 20 to 30,000 emails, 5,000 emails, invites a month on LinkedIn per profile, and drive them to a thought leadership approach versus let me just make phone calls, spray and pray, use HubSpot, break someone's domain, break someone's LinkedIn profile, and hopefully it works. And then 6 months later, the kid that just started their first SDR job hates it. Or they're really good, but now they want to be AEs. No matter what, you're not going to be in a good situation for your top of funnel unless you use some sort of automated approach. Focusing on strategizing, consulting, closing, and cultivating versus things that can be done with bots that look like it's actually someone actually reaching out to you. That's the way you write the message. Don't make it about you, make it about them. And that's what I do. I'm like a fractional demand gen expert. I spent $300,000 on someone like that, and I'm doing it for what it costs an SDR per month.
So it basically what we're talking about here, if I understand this, is a combination of LinkedIn sort of connection automation using maybe a tool like LinkedIn Helper or something like this.
Yep.
And right. And then we're talking about, original content posts that sort of connect with our ideal client and then making that connection. And then talk to me about the outbound effort, though.
The outbound is just going 3 to 4 messages in a sequence, A/B testing it, have several different subject lines and content. Just really understanding what's working and what's not. Having an email engineer that knows how to set up your DKIM, your DMARC, your SPF records, understands the whole Google and Yahoo limitations. How do you sending out the emails? Are you using your Gmail and Office 365 connected to some sort of HubSpot or CRM? Bad idea. There's ways to win and ways to do things right. And if you've already done them wrong, you probably know how to get there faster now. So I've lost and learned, whether it's in sales, whether it's in automation, or like I'm a black belt in Jiu Jitsu. I've tapped plenty of times because I've gotten caught. And you learn what not to do the next time. Same thing in business, same thing in life. So you got to be a student of the game, whatever you're doing, and go, I don't know everything. So why don't I keep on learning and then help people that don't have to learn by the same mistakes?
Yeah, I really appreciate that. What is your sort of best advice on how to share content on LinkedIn that captures your audience and then specifically drives bookings and conversions?
I say, hey, listen, I'm running a roundtable mastermind. I want you to be a featured guest. And we do it. I do this every first Wednesday of every month. We're going to talk about ChatGPT, CRMs, top of revenue, bottom of funnel, and we want you to be someone that kind of highlights what they do. What's your give? What's your get? Why'd you join the mastermind roundtable? And what's something you're trying to figure out? That's what's going to grab people to drive in to your roundtable mastermind. And they say, hey, just by the way, I do this for that. So I do this for my company. I do it for me. I do it for other companies. I'm also doing lead gen. So if you do need the help, I hear these things in the meetings. Say, okay, what exactly do you do? Why do you do it? And then I hear their pains. I'm not selling, but I'm listening. And then at one point I'm saying, hey, I heard what you said on my roundtable. I would love to chat with you at a later date about let's have a virtual cup of coffee. Or use anchors. Another thing you can do is use anchors. Like, hey, I saw you at an event. You're going to an event. I saw you to speak at an event. I saw you're attending an event on LinkedIn. So you have a job opening for a particular job that I can help you with as a fractional approach, whether it's my software or my services. Think about what's going to drive people to get them to respond to you, make it about them. Challenger sales approach. You got a $600,000 problem, we're going to solve for $6,000. Be a teacher, be an expert, be a thought provoker, stop selling.
Nice. Okay, so here's a question that I get a lot on LinkedIn. When you make a connection request, do you include a customized, personalized message, or do you use the generic one? What drives more results? Sorry?
I don't even use a generic one anymore. I just send an invite.
Okay, so
no personalized message unless I'm doing it one-to-one. But in my automation, yeah, you don't. It looks too contrived. Yeah, connect. LinkedIn thought I should connect with you. Is that the best you can do? Not a good idea. And then there's now LinkedIn has a certain amount of personalized invites you can do. So why use them up, right? I wouldn't do it unless you're going very specific. Like I saw you're attending HR Tech in Vegas. Would love to chat with you in person. Let's connect first. If you could be very succinct in that entry message or invite message, yeah. But I don't just like send a message invite and then throw up on them what I do. My whole thing is invite and then say, hey, we're doing a roundtable, or I'm going to HR Tech, or I'm going to Web 2.0 in Vegas, or I saw that you're part of a conference that I'm going to be at. So it's find a tie-in, find some sort of alliance of the minds, and use that to get you through the door. I call those kind of like signals or intent data. I use platforms that have intent data, which is like LinkedIn and email. Look at signal data and what they're doing and tie that into your messaging.
Okay, so here's another kind of specific question for you is that, LinkedIn DMs have become swamped. There's so, how many, I should share my screen, but every day I probably get maybe 10 to 30 messages per day, which are all very sales specific. And it's gotten to the point where it's very difficult to punch through the noise. I want to network on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is one of my favorite channels. I worked hard on LinkedIn. And, as a result, I have a community on there. But at the same time, I go to the messages, and let me actually share my screen. And the way that it looks is that there's just a lot of sales messaging.
How do they're selling to you. Right. It's like going to a girl and you're trying to date, you're saying, here's everything I do, and being way too forward. It's called business dating, just like you date in the personal life. So learn how to business date. You don't just connect and say, here's what I do, right? And everything you throw up on them. In fact, there was a mock video of someone going up to people the way people do in LinkedIn and walking up to you and just throwing up, and people were walking away from that person. It was a real kind of video of like candid camera. It was interesting.
Right.
That's why I say, listen, I'm doing a thought leadership roundtable. I'm doing a podcast. Why? A lot of people do podcasts because it opens the door for business as well, right? A lot of people do that roundtables and mastermind. My whole thing is like, I want to learn. I don't want to give you back something, but by the way, I do lead gen if you're interested. I'm a connector. I have 30,000 connections on LinkedIn. I know how to build your Rolodex on LinkedIn, but it has to be not just spray and pray. It's spray and pray with a sniper rifle, right? You don't have to work slow because you can be more efficient with using certain things and tools. And I look at it as a sales as a service. Not everybody wants to learn how to use Link Helper or Apollo or Zoom Info or any of that stuff. And if they are, they're spending lots of money. They're not every hour you're spending doing tactical admin, virtual assistant, list building thing, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing as a VP of sales, director of sales, or senior account executive enterprise. You should be focusing on who should I talk to, what's my top 20 accounts, and let someone else, usually an automation approach, get my other 200 accounts and so they focus on ABM for yourself, but those other 600 ones you want to go after are going to take time, and that's not what you have time to do.
Now, you mentioned a couple of those LinkedIn automation platforms. Sometimes people feel concerns about the risks involved with using automation on LinkedIn. What is your take on that? There's a couple that we can maybe recommend that people do their own research on. What is your take on that? Are we risking getting our account sort of jail locked? Take us through that.
Yeah, don't use a fake profile. Don't make up, you're going to get banned. Verify your LinkedIn profile with a real ID, whether it's using one of their platforms.
Clear. The program that they use is Clear. Yeah.
If you're in college,
I actually went through the process to verify my LinkedIn account using Clear. It said get 60% more views by verifying your account. So I said, okay, why don't I just do this? And it's been a couple of days now, so let's take a look. I'll take a look later to see if there's any lift.
Or ID.me, because I was in the military, so I have that.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, definitely verify your LinkedIn in your subject line of who you are.
Yeah.
Put VP of sales. Put down VP of sales, lead gen automation, help build 10 to 20 meetings a month, veteran of the Air Force, black belt in Jiu Jitsu. Tell a story. Your LinkedIn is not a front-facing resume if you're using it for your company. It's a front-facing resume when you're looking for a job, which is my background is HR tech. And people made LinkedIn as a resume at first. Now you use it for networking. You can join up to 100 groups on LinkedIn. You can send 3 emails on groups. You can look for open profiles with certain platforms like Link Helper and go, okay, give me a raise open profile. I'm going to send 300 emails this week. That's a big thing. But again, the end mail should be, how can I help you, not what I do. Stop throwing up about what you do. No one cares. Make it about them. Like, I want you to be on my podcast, just like you did with me, like I do with you. It's like, I want to learn more about you to see if there's a fit. Maybe we can do business, maybe we can't, but we should be able to help each other. Pay it forward. Learn more. Stop selling. Be prescriptive. It's just the normal sales train that you get in life, but now use that in your tactics for top of funnel.
Okay, let's do a sort of a deep dive on this idea of making it about you, because I really appreciate that you've referenced this a number of times. I've gone through a lot of training on making it about them because I'm guilty, just like so many of us that used to make it about me because I was brainwashed, probably mistaught, and inexperienced, frankly. And now I always think about this hero's journey, build a brand story. That's a great text. If anyone wants to read that book, take a look at that. Building a brand story where you make the other person the hero and they're on the hero's journey and you're like that guide for them. Take me through your process. I'd love to hear your story, your before state and then your after state, and that what you can convey to us when it comes to quote unquote making it about you, making it about them, the end user, the viewer, the customer, the client, the LinkedIn follower.
Making it about them in your top 20 accounts should be you looking at their LinkedIn profile, seeing what school they went to and what they're doing and what their company's doing. That's not repetitive. That's not repeatable and scalable. What I'm doing when it's about them is saying, listen, I'm holding a thought leadership mastermind roundtable or podcast or whatever I'm doing. And I want to learn. I want you on because I think you're an expert in this field, just like I'm doing now. And that's going to get someone to basically say, I'll take the time out to do it. Now, if you get 20 to 30 people doing it in a roundtable and everybody's saying, why'd you come to the roundtable today? Well, I'm looking for this A, B, and C. That's the pain, right? So you're looking about budget, authority, needs, and timing inside these roundtables. But now it's not one-to-one. And now you're saying who you are, what do you do, why did you join, what's your give, what's your get, why did you join the roundtable today? The first question you should ask at any discovery call is like, you booked the time with me, Jim. What grabbed your attention? What brought you to the table? Just shut up. Listen. Same thing in a roundtable. Just let people introduce themselves. You do a webinar, you're talking at them. Here's what we do. Here's our features and functions. I was such a knucklehead that I'm like, the deck was all about the company and what it does. It's not what it does, it's what does it do for them. Just like you were saying earlier. So I was a poor sales person in my younger days because I was more about here's what we do, not here's what it does for you. And I've gotten really good at it, and now I use automation. That I grew my company to almost 90,000 a month per month in less than a year and a half. I've been doing this for 3 years on my own, 3 years underneath another company, and 25 years as a salesperson.
Okay, so let's unpack this idea now of how do we actually present what it is that we're offering. I am the CEO of a software company. I am the way that I pay my bills, the way that I pay people, and the way that I earn for myself is by getting subscriptions to my software platform. My goal is to get people to do a free trial, to sign up, and then hopefully convert. We get about 10 to 15% conversions, and we go through that process. For us, the model that we've done is that we've presented the sort of case studies, the macro trends, the before state, the after state, trying to be as educational as possible. But at some point, we got to break out and say, this is what our platform looks like. This is what our dashboard looks like. And that's where we go through all the features. What can we do to do a better job in our pitches, in our sales pitches, to make it about them, to make it about the results and what they're going to receive from this, but then at the same time, make sure that we do the duty to present what we got?
Well, I think you're already starting to do it here with the podcasting. That's you're providing expertise, providing education, you're getting your brand out. But I think to me, the masterminds and roundtable is one to many.
Yeah.
You got to hope that people are going to watch this and build an audience. I'm sure you can. But if I invite everybody to be a featured guest, now you're not just interviewing Michael Falato, you're doing 20 different Michael Falatos of different backgrounds, and they're all learning from each other. And guess what? They're probably going to do business with each other.
Right.
At one point, you could even say, I want to sell sponsorships on top of this, which I haven't done yet. So, I mean, if I really put my efforts into this, I can make these roundtables into a networking pay-per-month thing, which a lot of people do. And to me, it's like I get enough out of just getting referrals and actually getting customers from doing my thought leadership, because I'm not sitting there telling people for 30 minutes how great I am and what I know. I'm saying, here's 5 things you should look at when you're doing LinkedIn automation. There's some platforms you can use. Go for it if you want to learn it, but you're going to pull your hair out and basically say, I'm going to screw up my LinkedIn profile. You got to know what you're good at and what you're not good at. So yeah, that's kind of what I would look at, is really not just teaching, but also being a connector. And you're already on the path, great radio voice too. But how can you expand it? How can you expand it to more of a thought leadership roundtable around 20 people at a time? That's where you're going to see, for you or for companies that want to do more thought leadership approach. No one's going to read a white paper, sign up for a free account, unless they feel like they're getting something out of it. Getting something out of it, it's going to be either doing emails on LinkedIn about, here, I want to make you join. I want to not make you, but I want to invite you as a future guest. And by the way, if you want to book a one-on-one, I'm happy to chat. I get 30, 40 meetings within a couple of weeks for myself. Don't just use one LinkedIn profile when you're doing automation. I use my wife's friends, my kids. I verify them. I don't have 40 employees, but I have 10 LinkedIn profiles going at once using automation for me and inviting them to be on my roundtables. And then I do a monthly roundtable, show a cadence, like tune into your channel. And then I throw in some ones off ad hoc. I was doing it every week. Too much. I wasn't getting enough people showing up, and it's just every week would pop up so fast. I'm like, I got 10 Zoom calls today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you mention this idea of, you mentioned a webinar is talking out people and a roundtable is getting people engaged. I connect to that. That makes a lot of sense to me. Who wants to be spoken at? Who wants to be spoken to? That makes sense to me.
Or sold to.
You know, take us through the discovery process. You know, when you jump on a call, when you jump into a roundtable, teach us how to ask better questions so that we can be better listening. You mentioned shut up, right? Shut up and get rich. It's a great quote in sales. But at some point you have to sort of cue up the other person to give certain responses. Take us through that process. How can we be better discoverers and listeners?
I think the biggest question I learned recently in the last 5 years is, what brought you to book a time with me today? You know, what brought, actually the real verbiage was, what brought you to the table?
Yeah.
Like, what grabbed your attention? And I just be quiet. And I've used that, and I've said it different ways, but I learned from Peter Richards, who I worked with at Telemetry/JobVite. That's the way he said it, and it just like resonated with me. Like, the way he said it, it's not just what you say, it's how you say it.
Yeah.
So, and that's what I ask in my Calendly invite when I say book a time with me to one-on-one or book a time for the roundtable. What's getting you to book a time? And don't find that out on the call. Find that out before you get on the call, so you can game plan your mind to kind of be ready for it. Once they respond to you, say I say, well, tell me, like in my case, tell me about your current top of funnel approach. Are you have SDRs? What tech stack are you using? What do you like? What's not working? What's working? You know, so it's asking questions and then going 3 to 4 deep. I don't think SDRs are made to go 3 to 4 deep in their first job, and they don't know what question to ask after they get the right answer for the first one. I didn't 20 years into it. I would say the last 10 years, I figured out how to go 5 to 6 deep and not make it sales. I mean, I'm on all these calls and I hear somebody say, I have this problem. I go, well, at this company, we actually can help you with that. I'm like, shh, stop. That's not time to sell. Keep on asking questions. Don't be desperate. People feel that desperate approach. I mean, I used to wake up like this every morning because I'm like trying to keep up and trying to make sure I don't lose clients, trying to make sure that I have like every client's happy. You got to just live for the day and make sure that you're doing the right thing for the customer, and then everything should work out. I know that sounds cliche, but you can't worry about what your account looks like because people will smell it. You can't go one question deep and go, okay, I understand the problem. It's like, again, it's like dating. So why did you break up? Oh yeah, okay. Then you ask another question. Then you ask another question. You have any kids? Whatever. It's the same thing in business. So you went to Duke, then you went to Princeton. What kind of drove you there? You know. All right. So you do a little homework. Don't just show up and ask. So what brought you to the table? Right. You're gonna ask. Be your natural inquisitory brain, if you're built that way, will show interest. Lighting. I'm a video production guy. Your lighting, my lighting, we're well lit. I have a camera here and a camera here. I have a 4K camera. You know how many people get on the call and it's dark? The screen's like this. I can see half their face. What do you think that shows me? You don't give a shit. Show me you care. Present yourself in the right manner, just like you would if you were if you wouldn't show up with jeans or shorts and flip flops at a business meeting. People don't realize you're working from home. Yeah, I don't care if you have pajamas on, but maybe have something with a collar on or comb your hair. I mean, I have people with the cameras like right here. I was like, I can't do it. I can't, or they're doing like, every 2 minutes. You gotta catch your bad behavior that you do. Like I used to say, basically, and a guy goes basically, and just started mimicking me. I'm like, or stop that.
Inadvertently he was doing that?
No, he was doing it to me. I was doing basically too much. That word basically. I'm like, he's kind of a jerk about it, which I didn't like, but it taught me not to make sure I'm using like
Filler words, yeah.
Oh. So now every time I hear I'm like, I'm cringing, and I don't want to be telling that person, don't do it, because they don't realize they're doing it. But you gotta talk from the heart, talk from the mind, and stop selling. And again, I fought that for so many reasons. Like someone said, put together a deck that we're going to use at this pitch. And I said, your thing is talking about us and features. Like, what do you want from me? You're driving me nuts. Guess what? I understand what you're doing then. I just wasn't smart enough and old enough to listen to you. So when people see like, oh, he's doing 80,000 a month, he's asking the right questions, he's like, Falato finally got it, And that takes maturity, it takes expertise, and it takes some years on this earth. If you're a little hard-headed like I was. Some kids, some people out of school know already what they want to do. Lawyers make good salespeople, right? I mean, they're probably listening and finding out little areas where they can make something better. So you got to be taught the right way.
Nice.
And, yeah.
Okay, let's.
Good answer, huh?
No, thank you for that. I appreciate that. So let's unpack this idea of boiling the ocean, which is selling to everyone, and then having a niche targeted audience. Now, I know you're a LinkedIn guy, so I want to bring up my Sales Navigator, because I was on Sales Navigator for a while, and then I got back into it. I recently they gave me some offer, some promo, and then I was like, all right, let me check it out. So I got back into Sales Navigator, and it's been fun. For me, what I started to notice on my account, on my LinkedIn account, was that I was starting to get the audience that I was attracting was there was absolutely no rhyme and reason to it. They were from all different sectors, all different industries, and I said, I got to do something about this, because the whole point of LinkedIn is to speak specifically and to network with the people that you want to work with. It's a business platform after all. So give us some guidance on how we can use filtering, or in this case, Sales Navigator, on how to filter best, how to really just get into the mindset of speaking to our ideal client profile. Like, take us through that process a little bit.
So connections of that best path in to the right there. Connections up. Is there someone that you're connected with that would have a very good, hey, I see that you're connected to Michael Falato. So that's like a way to get into the door with me without asking me to introduce you.
So this is a list of your connections, some of your connections.
Yeah, that's not the full list. Are we connected on LinkedIn?
I think we're connected, but there might be some additional filters that I have. North America.
You might just take that out. Take North America out. You had North. Did you have North America?
Actually, no. Sorry, I scratched that. That's not connected.
Yeah, that's not a go. No, you have nothing. Maybe there's a limit.
There's a limit, and there's also some privacy settings. Michael, I think there's some privacy settings. So, okay, anyways, let's run with this list right now. So teach us how to prospect from this list.
So you want to go to head count, right? Head count, you want to make sure, hey, I personally want to go for like probably 51 to 200, because I know that they have some money, but they're not too much of a know-it-all at this point, and they're probably growing. And then I want to go to company type. For me, this is again for me, company type. I don't want to go for nonprofits. I just want to go for privately held and publicly held, and self-owned, and partnerships. So that's going to fit me. Again, you could scrape 2,500 profiles using linked helpers. So you always gonna want to make this maybe more employee size just to make sure. That's important. Then obviously functions, you want to make sure you're not talking to someone that's, for me, I want to talk to biz dev, marketing, sales. And then seniority, obviously I want to talk to C level, B level, and D level. There's plenty of things to do this. If you look at posted on LinkedIn, change jobs, those are good signal data as well. There's intent data in the top right as well. But the biggest thing that I found that makes me successful, if I took your LinkedIn and automated it and said, hey, let me automate your LinkedIn, I'll do it for a month for free. but I'm going to make intros for myself. I'm getting 30, 40 meetings a month. I'm not going to charge you. I'm going to do something for you. You're going to do something for me. You're going to see how I work, and you're probably going to hire me after that. But meanwhile, I'm going to get to 30 meetings because you introduced me. Because I'm not going, hey, I'm looking for your connections. I'm actually using your LinkedIn as a tool for me and for you. I do a campaign for you. I do a campaign for me. I only do that for free because it's worth it for me.
Yeah, because you get to mine from the person's network.
Yeah, huge. That's the biggest thing I've ever done so far on LinkedIn. Is I mined someone's LinkedIn, did something for them, did something for me. And by the way, when they introduce me, they go, "Hey, John, I saw that you introduced Michael. He's awesome, but I really want to talk to you again. I haven't talked to you in 6 months. You're on top of the board for them again." So it's been beautiful there. But yeah, otherwise you're going connections of groups on that filter. You can hit groups and say, I see that you're in the sales innovation group, and you can send free emails doing that. You don't have to use automation to do that, but you should. Then there's another way to look at open profiles on Linked Helper as well, and basically send out free emails, not pay for them. You got to be. There's a reason why I'm good at Linked Helper and Apollo and all these other platforms, because I know them. You could spend the time as a VP of sales at a software company and try to get to know them, or have a director or demand gen. They don't know anything compared to what I know about all these platforms. Maybe 5% of everybody I've talked to is like, yeah, I'm using this and using that. I'm doing this. Like, well, sounds like you're doing pretty good right now. So I don't know if I can help you. So I just tell them that. Like, if you're doing a great job, great. It's not a good fit. You don't need me. But most people are breaking their LinkedIn domain, LinkedIn profile, or their sendability.
And by breaking, you say that it's like you're getting basically kicked out, banned because you misused automation or bots or something like this.
I've known people that have lost their LinkedIn profile.
Yeah.
And I was doing 600 invites in a day back when there was a back way of getting into LinkedIn.
Oh, before the limits, yeah. So let me show you. I want to get your feedback on this. This is one of the pieces of technology that we innovated here at Dub, which is basically taking your calendar booking engine. This is the equivalent of Calendly, but then having the ability to create a video page so that someone can watch a video of me here on the top, get to know me, see my workspace, connect with me, feel some trust, and then have a playlist of videos. In this case, it's our testimonials. It's a 30-second demo. And then to book a time in the calendar, reply with video, visit the website. When they book the time in the calendar, it's right here. So it's basically a video landing page. And we've seen a tremendous amount of success on this. But I'd like to get your take on this, because one of our concerns is that sometimes if you send someone just a Calendly link, that human sort of video kind of personality, it lacks.
Yeah, that's why I say I want to book you on a roundtable as a featured guest.
Okay.
I don't know, for me, if I want to watch a video, if I don't know who you are, you're basically, I'm not invested in you yet, so I don't know if the video is the right timing. I see people use Loom, and they send a video, hey, look at my whiteboard. I'm talking to you like this. It's Loom's, to me, is too played out already. The video approach is too bad. I used to go on LinkedIn and send a voice or video response. Hey, thanks for connecting with me. It's a good idea because it's different, but I haven't earned that trust, in my opinion. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I do a landing page in Google Forms. I ask them to register for the roundtable, and I don't even put a date for the roundtable. Like, we're putting together a date and time, but please pre-register for it. And then I put my calendar link and then a video like you have in a Google form. So I think you've already nailed what you need to do to make it win. I'm just using that along with my HubSpot, along with my different lead gen systems, and making it fit. Because when I used HubSpot to do it, it was saying I can't get to your registration page. I don't know what was going on with HubSpot and their links, but it was not opening for them inside of Sales Navigator for some reason. I don't know. I didn't have time to figure it out why it wasn't working.
Oh, you're saying the LinkedIn registration.
Yeah, I used to make the landing page for registration for the roundtable in HubSpot, because once you register HubSpot, it goes into my CRM. Great. Now I have a path of how they got in there. I got out there because I was having issues with Sales Navigator. The link would show errors out of Sales Navigator for some bug. There's a bug. I don't know what it was, but I didn't have time to figure it out. So I just made a Google form, and it works perfectly. And then the nice thing with the Google form is I'm able to share it with everybody that's my client when I do this for them, so they see the invites coming in. So I have a sense of how I'm doing for them versus someone booking a calendar or someone booking a calendar program. I have no clue if they got a meeting or not, or someone registered for the roundtable.
I got you. Well, I really want to get some feedback on some of the other stuff that we built. Using video, to your point, I mean, you're doing it. Here we are on a video to drive conversions, to drive registrations. This is the future, folks. And here we are with an expert on demand generation and LinkedIn connections and how to monetize your LinkedIn account. So I encourage you guys to go connect with Michael Falato on LinkedIn. Any other offer website that you have, Michael, that you want to share with the group here?
Yeah, it's just basically think about the time and effort that you're putting into trying to do this yourself and learn, and then think about what it would cost to hire basically someone in their first sales job, and then think about, is there some way to hire an expert for that $5K you're going to spend on an SDR, self-development rep, and you can get email automation, LinkedIn automation, roundtable automation, 25 years of sales experience for the same price, and not have to pay commissions, bonuses, HR benefits, have to hire somebody. There's a lot of reasons why you would hire someone that's an expert as a fractional approach versus making a full-time. Everybody wants to control, hey, I want to hire this person. I want to see how that works for like, they get past your past of how things we do. There's a reason why Fiverr and Upwork and all these other platforms are doing awesome. Uber, whatever it is, you're finding a solution for a problem and not having to go the old-fashioned route, like I need to find someone to solve this. No, you need to find someone to solve the problem and not spend the same type of money, and not, or just find someone that's actually going to be a good employee. It's pretty nuts right now. I have a hard time finding people that work as hard as me, and it's not going to be one that works as hard as me because it's my company. You know that, you being the CEO and founder, it's like,
yeah.
How many employees do you have?
25.
25, yeah. And it's, I bet you there's days where you want to pull your hair out and go, what the hell's, I'm 20 hours a day, I'm doing podcasts and you're going to the beach. What's going on here?
That's it. Let me show your website. Thank you so much, Michael. I really appreciate you coming on. Here's Michael's website.
That was an Upwork video that I got done for like $15 right there. It's a perfect example. Like, I'm a video production guy. I didn't know how to make an animated logo like that. Guess what? Fiverr has guys that do this stuff across the world. Find solutions that fit and do it. And I don't have the best website in the world, but you know what? It works. It gets business. So
there you go. Well, folks, thank you so much, Michael. I really appreciate you. I encourage you guys to connect with Michael on LinkedIn. Thank you so much for joining us on the Dub Podcast. Really appreciate it, guys. If you want to go check out the premier video sales solution, go to dub.com, grab a free trial, and come to our live trainings every single day at 10 a.m. Pacific. Thank you so much, Michael. Stick around for some notes. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, Dub's been great. I've checked out your website, and you guys have a really solid CRM sales process system. I'd really encourage people to try you guys out.
Thanks, Michael. Nice.